All right, in this video, I'm gonna go over the first element of design, which is lines. So lines are important because they help direct the viewer to certain destinations, they help connect things in an image, and most importantly, they help orient the viewer with the scene. So in this video, I'm gonna go through the 6 main types of lines you can look for when you're out in the field shooting. So let's start from the top. The most basic line you can look for is a horizontal line. And this is, as you know, essentially just a line that goes straight across the screen. So horizontal lines are generally used to provide a sense of stability to a scene. So I'd say one of the most important things you can do when you have a scene is have your shot perfectly leveled. So if there's a horizon line in your shot, you want it exactly straight, because whenever someone's out in the field walking around, that's how they see it with their eye. They're never walking around with their head sideways. They're always walking around with their head straight. So having a level horizon helps convey that illusion to the viewer that this is a stable scene and is something that happens in real life. The moment you see an image with a horizon that's slightly unlevel, it kind of takes you out of the experience. You realize, oh, this was probably taken on a camera, and it just destroys that illusion of being pulled into the scene. So for example, check out this shot right here, which was taken on a beach in Oregon. You have this massive rock structure in the back, but the only way this thing could stand up if it's just supported by some kind of horizontal line. So having that line straight across the screen helps convey the stability of that rock, the power of it on the beach, and just provides a general orientation for the scene. If I had it at for example, a 45-degree angle, it'd be very confusing to the viewer. They'd be like, why is this scene sideways? Like, it doesn't make sense. You want to connect the viewer with reality. Another important thing about horizontal lines is they help determine the length of the scene to a viewer. So they can look from the left to right and see exactly what's going to be conveyed here in the space. So having horizontal lines helps dictate this field of vision that you're going to create something in. So again, remember, these are all elements, little subjects, little pieces we're gonna put together. So let's move on to the second type of line to look for, and that is vertical lines. So vertical lines are usually associated with power, masculinity, and again, stability in an image. So you're gonna generally see vertical lines when you have trees going up and down, when you have sticks, when you have a person standing up. It just has that masculine power to it and adds that dynamic to an image. One of the most important things about vertical lines is they help determine the height of a scene. So having vertical lines can help the viewer connect with how tall this scene actually is. So for example, check out this shot right here, which I took in the redwoods in California. These massive trees right here, you can see me standing in the very bottom in that little corner there, and having these giant vertical lines in the scene helps convey just the power and the monstrosity that these trees really are, and helps connect that feeling with the viewer. The third type of line to look for is diagonal lines. So diagonal lines are generally used to add a certain type of depth to an image. So for example, check out this shot right here, which is taken at, I believe, a cemetery in Mexico. So the diagonal nature of this line right here helps pull you into the scene. And I would say this is the most important part of diagonal lines, is they convey a sense of energy, movement. They make you want to start walking forward into a scene. Another great thing about diagonals is they can be used to add a little bit of confusion or disparity into a scene. So if horizontal and vertical lines are used to convey masculinity, power, stability, diagonal lines help disrupt that. So they send the viewer's eye into a different angle. They help create a sense of disturbingness. They can be used to disrupt parts of an image, and in general, just create a sense of chaos to an image, which can be a great feeling to emote. All right, the next type of line to look out for is parallel lines. So parallel lines are generally just used to add emphasis to a certain line. So for example, if you have a vertical line and you want to add even more emphasis, look for more vertical lines to help push that feeling out even more. So for example, check out this photo right here. So as you can see, all these vertical lines in the scene help add this almost zebra stripe effect to the image, which looks interesting to the eye, and just really help reinforce the notion of how many trees are really in this one spot here, and just how small I am in leading the eye to my point in the shot. At the end of the day, parallel lines, they help add emphasis to a certain point. So for example, with diagonal lines, if you wanted to add more disruption, you could add a ton more parallel lines to help emphasize that point. The next type of line that I wanted to demonstrate is a perpendicular line. And this is essentially where certain points meet in an image, and this can also help display conflict. So the image that I wanted to use as an example is this shot of the shadows. And this was taken in Alcatraz, which is a prison off the coast of San Francisco. So obviously all the windows are barred. They don't want the prisoners to get out. The reason prisoners are there is because of some kind of conflict they got in. And having these two lines, this horizontal and this vertical line meeting, just displays this power of the government telling the prisoner, you can't get out, you're stuck here, you were here for a conflict. That's what I'm trying to represent here. So having those perpendicular lines meeting at certain points can really help push that point forward. All right, the final type of line that I wanted to point out is curves. So if vertical lines are there to promote masculinity and give that sense of power, curves are the complete opposite. So generally you associate curves with the female body. They're also used to help display a sense of leisure, relaxing, almost a playful kind of energy. So for example, if you're walking down a pathway and you see a nice curvy line walking through it, you associate it with a sort of relaxing scene. Another example is this shot right here I took at the white sand dunes in New Mexico. So this dune was just created by the wind from this just curvy pattern going back and forth. And it helps convey to the viewer this sense of just relaxation, leisure. I just want to lay in the sand dunes, relax, have a good time, maybe create a sand angel. So you really want to use curves if you want to display that feminine, playful, fun side. So those are the 6 types of lines that I wanted to show you. So memorize them, look out for them, and learn how we're going to use those lines to help connect different elements of design, ultimately in the principal videos that are upcoming in this video. So let's go ahead and hop into the second element of design, which is shapes.